Welcome, ding ling ling, ding ling ling, ding 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 ling ling. We implemented actions that we discussed in our last 10 minutes on the fly. So that's something that you want to think about as a content creator. Is not proper English, but are you blabbing on deaf ears? Or are people actually getting the information that you're delivering? And then are you an example of the information that you're delivering? So in the last episode from earlier, the one prior to this was called 10 plus 6 minutes on the fly. We talked about changing locations. So I actually went a little further and I actually just rearranged my room to shift the feng shui of the arena, the battle zone, which is my room where I do a lot of my filming. Noting the other day I went to McDonald's for tea, and today I went through Dunkin' to get tea. This tea actually has a little fishy taste to it. I know that sounds strange, but it doesn't really bother me. But I like it. It's just a little tweak on the fact that it's an herb. That's just the flavor profiling that I can give you to where you might actually experience it. To let you know that even if you go to Dunkin' Donuts in Georgia, and you use the water here, and then you decide to go to get tea in New York City, the water's going to taste different. Just to let you know. On today's episode, first of all, I want to say thank you for joining. My name is Cassandra. I am Jesus Lifetime and implementing my previous educational pieces. And today we're going to talk a little bit about hamming it up. We're going to take 8 minutes left in the podcast to discuss hamming it up, meaning you want to be entertaining when you create content, grounded in information though. Think about that for a second. You don't want to be a drone, robot, or a fake person. You do not want to do those things. That's boring. It's overplayed. It's outdone. Here are a couple ways. Here's some ways that you can ham it up. What I mean by ham it up, it kind of brings in a joyful, jovial comedy experience. Notice I didn't say you looking good. It's a vibe of, this is fun. Let me be a comedy star. Let me get a couple laughs out of you because that makes me happy. Let me see if I can create from an actor's perspective. However, I'm so confident in who I am. I'm so grounded in who I am that I know the difference between me hamming it up and the realities of who I am. Usually when you ham it up, you're just being jovial and funny. You can call it costumes, meaning I'm wearing a hat. So some people who do podcasts can actually just wear a new hat every day. You can go to the Goodwill and buy different hats. Not to promote a product, just to wear a hat. You can use funny voices. Funny voices. I mean, you can use a variety of voices. You can even tell your audience that you're about to use a funny voice. I'm about to use a funny voice.
Let me see here. I don't really feel like using a funny voice, but I can definitely try it out and see that today's episode is about using your personality to get the hook of the attention of the audience.
However, I know that's not my real voice. And you never know what you as the content creator will uncover or discover about yourself in humor or in pathway to creativity.
This voice right here is very nasally. You might come up with the thought that you like the way a perfume smells, and that becomes your new content feed. Some people like perfumes and some people don't. I particularly do not like perfumes, but that's just me.
The other thing you can do is you can implement your action of creativity. That for me is not landing, but I wanted to say it because the message was to tell you the action of creativity. So that is actually you, me, giving you an example of hamming it up. And I feel like I always have to know everything. That's actually, I think it's a flaw. Action of creativity. That's actually hamming it up. So action of creativity is you, I gotta sneeze. Excuse me, you actually doing the thing that you're creative at. It's a little like showmanship, but intermingled in your showmanship, you're actually educating someone on the showmanship of the action of the thing that you're doing. So for example, Gary does a wine library, and he'll take the glass, he'll swish it around, he'll do this dramatic, which I absolutely hate because it makes your teeth red. And then I have to give you a conversation when you're in the dental chair to say, don't do that because your teeth look red and has acid and you're going to melt away your enamel. However, he learned that from somebody. I don't know who you learned that from, but I totally get it, by the way. However, that's his hamming it up. And then he spits it in the Jets hat. So you see he has props. Like this is a prop. Technically, this is a prop. I have receipts on you. Let me see here. This is a prop when you're a waitress, a server. What would you like? So if you're in a movie, this is a prop. The hat is a prop. Back to going into the creativity version of it. Every action is a reaction. Every introduction of a new thing, meaning this now, might become something that I use on a regular basis. That's how unique your content can be versus trending. Trending is so like overdone. It's like done. No one cares. You standing and looking in a certain way in an outfit at a fancy party is like boring for us. We do not care. Although the way that the collective of the rich people work, which you can all call it content creation, is you think we care when we actually can't stand you. So do you want to be on that side of the coin, or do you want to be on the side of the coin where you're actually participating in something that's bigger than yourself, which is a community of good people, educating each other, and really working together in business? So I draw the line here. Notice that by taking out the already existing content creators and just having you as a fresh circle associated to my page, and how uplifted you might feel. And it's going to take a little work. No, think about this. No more Kim Kardashian. No more Mona Van types. No more bikini models. No, just real people conversating. Hey girl, I saw that you posted about such and such. I don't want to collab. Nobody wants to collab. You DM in a collab. Right now we're getting to know each other. You see the difference? Hey, do you mind if I do a video on your page about collabing? And then you and I discuss collabing in an educational piece, because we are collabing as we discuss in the educational piece. However, there isn't actually any collaboration. It's all manipulation in collaboration. So everything was done on the internet in investment toward malice behavior of secrets behind the scenes of a hierarchy system of a socialist class. And nobody stopped it. They all participated in it. Even right now, it's coming across the screen, and no matter what country you are in, Trendio is on Roku right now. No one likes trends, except for people who have no intelligence. It's not funny. Right now, it is not funny to trend. It's actually dumb. Hamming it up can be directly honest with someone. Notice that you're getting a rise out of your audience, but you're getting a rise out of your audience that's necessary to create movement in your educational piece associated to you being who you are in human form. You don't turn a blind eye. Don't be the bigger person right now. And then as the group evolves, we learn how to communicate in a way that's more structured, more like, oh, I see how I did that. Not me. Or I say, well, let's take a look at this, really what's going on here. Can you see how you interacted with me in that way? And so you got that response. So you always point your finger at yourself first when we get to sane groups of individuals. Right now, we're all insane. I shouldn't put we in their category. I should say you're all insane. You are all insane. You only care about numbers and you pretend like you don't. You might as well, because they all care about numbers, and that's the collective consciousness associated with these platforms. Is you all talk about numbers, you care about numbers, and even when you educate on numbers, the number one thing in your conversation about not caring about numbers is caring about numbers. Because that's how they want you to care about your platforms. And now what I have coming across the screen from Roku is Terrifier. What a great movie. Writers. That's what millennial Gen Zs like to watch on television. Hamming it up is looking at that content and saying, that's horrible. Direct. Getting an emotional response in a way that's going to wake people up to the reality of what's going on in society. Why do you think we have trafficking going on right now? It's because movies like Terrifier is the #1 movie trending on Roku. Well, everyone says, well, it's just a movie. Well, if collective consciousness people, millions of people think Saw is a great movie, then people are going to start to act as if Saw is a normal behavior. It's common sense. While people like Mona Van fly on jet planes to locations in Dubai where they set up rings of trafficking systems to learn how to move product, which the female becomes the product or the man becomes the product. You see how that works? Oh, everything's great for 4 days until you get kidnapped and taken to some other place, while Mona Van says, hey, I'm such a great friend to you. I'm so sweet. There's this guy out in Dubai who likes to take girls out to dinner, and you'll talk about content creation and all this other stuff. He is ABCDE. They come up with the plan. You fly out to the Dubai hotel that she's representing, but she's so sweet, and look who her husband is. And then you're like, yeah, I totally love her. She's fabulous. I totally trust her. Look how nice she is and kind she is. And look at how many followers she has. So he must have helped her, so he'll probably help me too. And then you fly to Dubai because you're that ignorant. And there you are, sitting in a cage, waiting for your next customer. However, you ain't getting paid. And then Mona walks to the bank and collects her cash because she's Persian. She's the starter of slavery, and she doesn't care about anything else except for how much money she's making. And that's hamming it up, is telling truths about what's going on in the world in a way that people will actually hear you. It's also not holding back when you see that something's wrong and it doesn't work for United States of America or humanity as a whole. And so hamming it up too can be ways of defiance against the systems to bring awareness to things that do not work and the people involved. Anything else? I don't know why I always go back to those conversations, but content creation is not always fun. It's not always dancing and partying. It's multidimensional facets of life, because if life is one big party, that's really lame. If all you ever do is drink and do drugs and go to fancy parties and then talk about the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, That's like really boring. It's like really boring. Anyway, let's see. Anything else about hamming it up on the internet? There's a lot of different things that come off of the things that and this is 15 now. I'm 15 minutes on the fly. Of course, I mean, I might have to change this to 20 minutes on the fly. Because I just talk too much, I think. I have a lot to say. That's it for now. I'm thinking that's it for now. So if you enjoyed this podcast, we're going to call it now 15 minutes on the fly. 30 seconds over. Will you please call your mom and ask her to subscribe? Tell her that she is good enough to post content, but know that it's not going to be an easy journey. And like, share, and subscribe to this podcast. It's literally like hanging out with your next door neighbor on a live. No one else can do this kind of work. I'm the only person on the planet who's evolved themselves so much in security of who they are to be able to produce content like this. I not only affect locally here on the United States of America soil, globally, but I'm also being viewed out in outer space. Meaning there's a lot of aliens who have computerized operative blobby blobs. That's technical. Blobby blob is a technical term. As I am Queen of the Universe, Queen of the United States of America, and Queen of the world, of the earth. And that can initially start as hamming it up. However, that's actually a true story. Okay, like I said, thank you for subscribing. I hope you have a lovely Saturday. I might produce other content today, notice how my content is very unstructured. And notice how you want me to say more stuff. And notice how you are like, is she ever going to stop talking? And notice, is this the end of the podcast? And just notice how you're reacting. Notice. It's all like, can be controlled by the matrix, or you can make your own decisions. How do I want to react to this? Do I want to listen to what she's saying, or do I want to have my own reaction? Because right now, the way things are happening is you want to have their reaction because you're afraid to go against the grain. But I'm going to tell you right now, going with the grain is very toxic and it will end your life early. And that means you'll be breathing and living and mowing your grass, but you're completely miserable. And that means your life is over. Like I said, thank you for watching. We've overdone. We're now at 18 minutes. I apologize for going over. Thank you for joining me. It took a lot for you to get here on this podcast. It took a lot for you and your patience to evolve this community to where we are today. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you who are out to create for others and who can recognize the psychosis of what the industry has created for us as a human species, and letting you know that we as a community will win. I'm like, we're the best. We're like so much fun. Yes, we are. We're like the bomb. Okay, that's it for real.